Hey guys, it's Generalkidd here. How's everyone doing today? So, for today's video, we're going to be tackling the question of what happens on Halo 3 ODST on mission Tayari Plaza if you go straight to Dare's pod without, going through enemies or going through objectives and stuff like that. So, normally on this mission, Dare's in trouble and Buck needs to rush to her to save her before she gets caught by the Covenant. And to do so, you have to go through several waves of enemies, you have to go through several blocks of the city. And, by the time you get to her, it's too late and she's already gone. Or so it seems. So, for this experiment, I simply removed the barriers to the map, and we're just going to fly, straight to Dare's pod, and get to her within, seconds. And, people were asking, what, if it makes any difference. Because there's been, open world games where people do experiments where they go straight to, the ending or something like that. So we're going to try that with ODST. Now, this is obviously not an open world game, especially when you're not on Mombasa streets, but still, it's fun to see what happens if we skip all the objectives, skip the whole mission, and go straight to the end. So here we are at the end, and here's Dare's pod, and I do have the option to actually finish the mission, to pry her pod open. And, it seems like everything is fine. Her pod is solid. But when I activate the pod, when I actually, activate the objective, well, nothing happened. And I wasn't entirely surprised by that result, because usually to activate certain switches or triggers, you have to there's a lot of prerequisites, like previous triggers and previous scripts that you have to hit in the mission. So because we skipped everything, I wasn't fully expecting it to work. But that doesn't mean it doesn't always not work. Sometimes in older Halo games and Halo 2, you really could skip the entire mission and go straight to the end and it would work. But for ODST, especially for newer Halo games, the ending objectives are a lot more, reliant on you completing previous objectives. But nonetheless, there's actually some interesting results as a result of skipping the whole mission. So some rooms from Firefight are now explorable. And I was also wondering what happens if I were to go back and reload the first part of the mission and then continue through after already activating the pod. But unfortunately, by doing this, it actually does break the mission. Now, reloading the beginning part of the mission again, that was actually very difficult, and I was only able to do it once by accident, and I've never been able to reproduce that again. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to do it for this video. But I was able to reload the mission once at the beginning. All the enemies were still there, and I could proceed through most of the beginning part too, and enemies would correctly spawn, even allies like the Marines. But after I progressed to the point where we get to that Covenant Tower with the Jacko snipers, where that gate is closed that leads to the next section with the hunters, I was able to get to that sniper tower, and after clearing all the enemies at that point, well, that's it. The mission just stops at that point. It doesn't proceed any further than that. I couldn't get it to proceed any further, and that was the one and only time I was actually able to reload the entire beginning part of the mission and progress through it again. But as you can see, I've been attempting to reload it this whole time in the video, but I just couldn't get it to work, and I have no idea how I did it the first time either. So, but I did do it that one time, and that is what happens, which is if you skip ahead and you activate Dare's pod and then you go back and you play normally, it breaks the mission and it doesn't progress anymore to a certain point. And I'm not sure if there's anything else I could have done to fix the mission or make it progress normally, but that's what happened. That was the only chance I had. But hopefully you guys found this video to be interesting, and as always, if you did, make sure to leave a like, leave thoughts in the comments. Anything else we can check out or look into, just let me know in the comments down below. I'll definitely do my best to look at it when I get the chance. But aside from that, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to my channel, and I will see you all next time. Bye guys!